Hi there, it's Michael Cowan here again for the In Hindsight series, and today I've got a very special guest. We're chatting to Danie Kruger from Callisto. How are you, Danie?
Hey Michael, well and yourself?
No, I'm very well, and thank you for taking the time out of your pretty busy schedule just to have a chat to us and share some wisdom and to give some feedback. You run a business called Callisto. Won't you give us a bit of a background to it? Looking through the website, there's a lot that you guys do. Certainly business coaching, training, management consulting, plus outsourcing and the MBA that you've got. Won't you give us an overview of what you do, and then we can come back to the MBA, because I'm really interested in what you're doing there for entrepreneurs. So over to you, if you could give us a bit of a background into Callisto and how you got to Callisto.
Sure. Well, I've been an entrepreneur for the last 10 years. So I think my passion, my focus has always been around the entrepreneurial space. And for the last 2 years, we've been looking at products and services to help entrepreneurs just grow through the early days of business, but then also to get to a point where they can sustain that business. And what we've realized is that most entrepreneurs don't have the support, the education, or sometimes the awareness to grow that business. So that's how Callisto came about. It was really an idea, a service to the entrepreneurial market that we just got to a point, and the tools that we use business coaching, consulting, we do training as well.
Okay.
But I would say that the focus around it is always to equip the entrepreneur, because at the end of the day, they are the business when they start with that business. And so I've seen so many businesses fail because the entrepreneur don't know how to interpret their financial statements. They don't know what's going on in the economy. They don't know they don't know actually who they are, so they don't know what message to use when it comes to marketing. We've decided to rather look at products and programs to help entrepreneurs to gain that knowledge. And then at the end of each cycle, we then sit with the client to help and make sure that they've integrated that within their own business. Because I'm sure you would know as well, most entrepreneurs don't have the time to just read X amount of books and don't know how to integrate it within their own business. So what we do is we help them with relevant case studies and business books that they can use within their own business and their own markets. So at least everything that they do does have a direct return on investment for them as well.
Danie, thanks. That's fantastic, and it's a good point, because most entrepreneurs they're very good at the functions that they do, and that makes them great in terms of managing specific elements of a business. But the broader business picture is often unknown to them. Are you guys an incubation system, or are you really just a consulting service to help businesses to get through that first hump and really understand the technical challenges of actually running a business, things that these guys would never have seen typically before?
Yes, I think we're more the latter. So we're definitely more consulting and coaching company that assists the clients through the growing stages of business.
Okay, and how did you get into this? You say you've been an entrepreneur for quite a while. What's your background in terms of getting to Callisto? Because you obviously have gone through quite a lot,
Yes.
You've obviously experienced a few painful moments, I'm sure, as well.
Absolutely. I think I've been, like everyone, to the school of hard knocks. I believe in the principle of failing forward. So, I've made far too many mistakes. And I think that's why we've decided to look, everyone doesn't need to make the same mistakes. There are some great books out there. There are some great people, with a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom. But unfortunately, sometimes entrepreneurs like to just take that risk and do it themselves, and then end up burning themselves. But back to your question, so the way I started, I was a tennis player back when I was a junior, and I traveled overseas. Came back when I was about 21, and then started my own tennis academy, because as most tennis players, I think you default to coaching if there's nothing else that you know how to do. So I've defaulted into coaching, but then out of that, I realized I had a bigger passion for the business side of things than more the coaching side, being a tennis coach. And the tennis business was a great space for me to make a lot of mistakes and grow through as an entrepreneur. And through the tennis business, I've managed to launch a couple of other businesses as well. Some of them succeeded, some of them failed horribly and spectacularly. But again, learning the lessons from there. And I've always been a very avid learner. I mean, I love reading and learning about my trade. I'm not so much a person that likes the academic route because sometimes it just takes too much time. Although I have a few diplomas behind my name and all that, but I've got a passion for just learning as such. Okay. So from about the age of 20, I've really just made some time every day, about an hour and a half a day, where I would sit, read some business books, and then apply it within my own life. And that has been probably the backbone for Callisto as well, and for our programs, because that's the approach that we use as well.
Okay, fascinating. So it's a good thing you failed spectacularly, because if you're going to do it, you want to do it spectacularly, don't you?
You've got to go out swinging, absolutely, and then hopefully at the end just make some notes on where did you fail and how can you do it better, differently,
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely. Thing. Danie, tell us a bit more about your MBA program and how it differs from an an incubation process, because it's a year's program that guys come and join you for a year, and you take them through that year of well, I'll let you tell me about it. Why don't you give us some insight into it, because it sounds fascinating and very valuable, actually.
Sure, thanks. Yeah, it started when I enrolled into a proper MBA program as well. Okay. And I'm busy with my first year, and I've just got to a point where, as an entrepreneur, you get so much theory that sometimes you don't know exactly how it's going to apply within your own business and your own market as well. Yeah. So being an entrepreneur, you get frustrated and like, just show me and tell me how to do this. Just give me the nuts and bolts and I want to run with that kind of thing. Yeah. We're all impatient and we all want to see money in our bank now, not in a year from now and 2 years from now. And quite frankly, we don't have the luxury to wait 2 years sometimes for that money to come into our business. Okay. So with our 12-month MBA program, it's what we've done is we look at the main 6 modules or subjects that you will find in any MBA program, such as marketing, finance, accounting, economy, and so forth, but with more of a practical take on it. So to give you an idea, what we do is, let's say you've got the module marketing. Yes. All the marketing that you do on that module, like segmentation, finding your message, finding the right audience, all the case study that you do is in your own business. So instead of going through somebody else's case study and going through all the theory and then you know something about marketing, we actually measure the results within your own business. When we talk about accounting as well, instead of looking at all the ratios of different other company statements, rather look at your own ratios. Okay. And then after that, we then sit with the client and say, okay, so after knowing this now, what are the best steps going forward in your business? So that's when it becomes really practical, because they can apply what they've learned for that past month within their own business as well. Through the program as well, we then supply them with all the relevant business books and materials as well. We give them assignments, we give them workbooks, but again, everything is based on their own business. And what we say to our clients is, if you can set out an hour to hour and a half a day to work on your business instead of working in your business, you'll see the real success of the business. Because again, all entrepreneurs are so busy running behind their own tail and they're working in their business, but they never stop and work on their business. And that's our approach, that's our passion, and that's our focus. So we help the client to just for an hour and a half a day to say, look, just sit a little bit back and work on your business. And the end of the month, you can imagine if you work 30 hours on your business a month, what the return on investment will be if you can do that for 12 months. And that's where the second element will come in from Callisto, is just keeping the client accountable. Because again, so many entrepreneurs, we answer to ourselves. So sometimes, if you don't reach a deadline, so what, I'll do it tomorrow. Where Callisto, what we do is we just keep the client in a nice way, but we keep them accountable to say, look, if you set this out for the month, by the end of the week, how far are you with this? Give us some feedback. What can we do to help you? And then, that's how we roll out throughout the whole year.
That sounds great, because I mean it's practical and relevant to a person's business, rather than the Apple or the Harley Davidson case study that we all love to look at when it comes to marketing. But it's very hard to actually look at it in your own business. And as a marketer, I find that the hardest part is to try to position ourselves because I'm too close to the whole process.
Exactly,
it's a very difficult process and easy to help a client, but not so easy to help myself. It's a bizarre thing. Yeah, so I've given up trying to help myself like that. Rather get some external perspective.
Exactly. It's so funny you say that. We've got quite a few accounting firms as well and accounting clients. And normally when you look at their books, they don't know what's going on there, but because they're so focused on their clients. So again, that's our job is just to help them to say, look, you know everything on accounting. Why not apply it within your own business?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, then in terms of some practicalities, what do you think, if we look at South Africa as an entrepreneurial environment, what do you think it takes to be successful as an entrepreneur in South Africa? And I ask this question and not looking at the government, because there's a lot the government should be doing and can be doing. But I do think the only helping hand you're going to get is at the end of your arm. What should you be doing as an entrepreneur? And what does it take to be successful in South Africa as an entrepreneur? What is your experience and insight into that?
I think the first thing that comes to mind, and everyone that's reached some level of success, I think just keeps on saying it. It's just you've got to be able to persevere. If I look back over the last 10 years, just failing forward, there were so many good opportunities for me to quit along the way, but somehow you're stubborn and you just keep on going and you believe in the dream. So I would say number one is just persevere and then believe in yourself. Believe in your dream. If you don't believe in yourself, then nobody's going to believe in you.
No, absolutely.
And then you've got to find the resources. You've got to find the people to help you to get to the next level. Because if I look back and see where I'm at today, then it's a total sum of people that helped me, books that I've read, some ideas that I've received from somebody sitting over lunch. So I would say definitely look at your network, look at the people that can help you now to go to the next level. And then also to love what you do. Absolutely, you've got to have a passion for it. Because some days you've got to work till late in the evening. Some days you've got to work weekends, but you've got to love it. And then the last thing is you've got to find balance as well. To quote Stephen Covey, sharpen the saw. So you've got to know what are the things that will reignite that fire. For me, it's a little bit of cycling of the weekends or some running, spending some time with family. But you've got to find a way to keep that passion alive.
And then if we look at the challenges currently that we as entrepreneurs in South Africa face, what do you and it's an open question. What do you think the biggest challenges are that we face? Because it's great to have that, but the mountain's big. And I think people who suddenly have a great idea don't realize how big and tough it is to climb this mountain. Kilimanjaro is easy in comparison.
Sure.
It really is.
Definitely. If I look back at my clients now, then I think one of the first things what they realize is, yes, the cash flow is completely tight at the moment. They can't spend like they did 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So I would say the first thing that all entrepreneurs need to do is they need to step down a level or two from the way they used to spend their money. That means cutting some living expenses, some business expenses. I had to do that as well over the last 4 years or so. But then also, again, I think looking at the market today, finding creative ways of doing business. We've been doing a lot of business where we've done some co-creating with other entrepreneurs as well. Just to help us, you made the analogy of Kilimanjaro. It's always easier to climb a mountain with somebody than climbing it by yourself. So I would say looking at our challenges at the moment within South Africa, and I don't think we're not there yet. We're still going to experience a lot of challenges. But I think one of the first things is you need to have a realistic goal and not just jump the gun and say, look, I'm going to make it within 3 months. This is where I will be. Rather set a smaller realistic goal for the next year and prepare for the worst and expect the best. In a way.
And then if what would be your key advice? Someone's sitting in front of you right now and you say, you've just finished my MBA program, whatever it is, I want to see you in a year's time. What would your advice be to that person? What do they need to go and focus on doing to make themselves successful?
First of all, yeah.
Yeah, no, go for it. Sorry.
I think the first thing is, as you said, their focus. It's so important.
Okay.
Once you've got the program, once you know what your business is, you've got to focus on your business, on what do you need to go to the next level. I see so many clients and so many entrepreneurs that they just get to a point and there's so much to do for them. You know, being entrepreneurs, like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, and I want to do that. Yeah. It's like, first of all, you've got to focus and set a goal on what you want to achieve first. And then around that focus, you've got to find the resources to help you there. So I'll say too, if a person comes to me to say, Danie, what must I do within the next 3 months or 6 months? Is first of all, focus. Cut anything off, any distraction that will take you away from your goal. If I look at, like I said, cycling is one of my passions, and Lance Armstrong, everyone knows Lance Armstrong, and they asked him the question, so how difficult was it for you to win the Tour de France 7 times? He said, well, actually not that difficult, because my life was simple. The only thing that I needed to do was cycle. My eating plan was around cycling. My friends that I hanged out with was around cycling. So I would say the first thing that you need to do is just complete focus around what you need to do. And then really become an avid learner. Find the time, find the resources to help you get to the next level. And then also to make sure that you plan for the worst. So if you think you're going to live on a budget of X, rather have a budget of XX and then try and live under that, you know, that kind of thing. So, and then don't quit. Quit. Again, Armstrong, a huge saying of his is always, quitting is temporary, pain, the other way around.
Yeah.
Pain is temporary, quitting lasts forever.
Yeah, it's a good statement, that,
So, I think really around that, just never quit, just keep on going.
Yeah, and I think that relates to something that's so important to us here, is narrow the focus to broaden the appeal. Very hard to do. That's it. Very hard to do, because you just want to keep chucking stuff on, and you get the new idea, and this comes in. It's very difficult to do sometimes.
Exactly. We all have a list of ideas. You know, I've gotten to a point where I write them down and file them somewhere and say one day, hopefully, but maybe. Not now. If it's not in line with my focus now, then sorry, I don't have the luxury to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Danie Kruger, thanks so much for your time here, and thank you for sharing your insights. And I will put all the contact details and so on in the show notes so people know where to get hold of you. So thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule and from helping other people to share some insights here.
Brilliant. Been a fun. Thank you.